Welcome back, everyone, to Jin and Jenny. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Jin. We're really excited to dive into a topic today that's been making a lot of waves in the crypto space, stablecoins and how they're meeting regulation. It's, a pretty big deal.
Absolutely, Jin. So, for those who might not be entirely familiar, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a stablecoin?
Well, Jenny, at its core, a stablecoin is a digital asset. But unlike, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's designed to be like price stable. It's usually pegged one-to-one with a fiat currency, most commonly the US dollar. Think of it as digital cash, within the crypto ecosystem.
Right. So, it's not meant to be volatile like traditional cryptocurrencies. It's, stable. And I know there are a few different types, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly. There are generally three main types. You've got your fiat-backed ones like USDC or USDT, where every digital coin is backed by actual dollars or equivalents held in a bank. Then there are crypto-backed stablecoins like DAI, which are backed by other cryptocurrencies. And then there were algorithmic ones like UST, but those are, now defunct for reasons we've talked about before.
Oh, yeah, the UST crash was a whole thing. So, why are stablecoins so important then? Like, what's their role?
Oh, they're crucial. They're essential for DeFi, for international remittances, and even for trading Bitcoin itself. A lot of people, when they want to get into Bitcoin, they use stable coins as a gateway. And, in those super volatile crypto markets, they act as a kind of safe haven.
That makes a lot of sense. So, with all this importance, it's no surprise that, regulators are stepping in. And that brings us to the Genius Act. Jin, what's the lowdown on this?
The Genius Act, Jenny, is a pretty landmark piece of legislation. It actually passed the Senate in June of 2025, and what it does is create the very first nationwide regulatory framework specifically for payment stablecoins. It's a big step.
Wow, nationwide. So, what are some of the key takeaways from this act? What does it require?
Well, a few big things. First, stablecoins have to be backed one-to-one by US dollars or treasuries. No more of that, fractional reserve stuff. Issuers also have to provide monthly public reports and annual audits, which is huge for transparency.
Oh, transparency is always good.
Absolutely. And here's another key point. It prohibits interest to avoid them being treated as securities, plus mandatory AML and KYC compliance, which is pretty standard for traditional finance, but new in this regulated stablecoin context.
And I hear it also allows state-level licensing for smaller issuers, right? Like under $10 billion?
Exactly. It's kind of a nod to fostering innovation while still having oversight. Ultimately, this law really lays the groundwork for the U.S. to potentially lead in digital currency infrastructure, which is a big deal on the global stage.
So, how does this all connect back to Bitcoin? Because, we always talk about Bitcoin on this show.
Good question. Bitcoin and stablecoins are, in a way, deeply intertwined. Believe it or not, a lot of BTC transactions globally are actually done using stablecoins like USDT or USDC. And Tether, for example, they actually hold Bitcoin in their reserves and have invested in mining operations, linking their reserves to Bitcoin's performance.
So, if stablecoins do well, Bitcoin could benefit?
Potentially, yeah. Large pools of stablecoins essentially act as dry powder, funds ready to enter the Bitcoin markets. So as trust in stablecoins grows, which this regulation aims to do, the accessibility and stability of Bitcoin markets could also improve.
And we've seen some interesting company reactions to this, right? Like Coinbase and Circle?
Oh, absolutely. Coinbase, for example, saw a stock surge after the Genius X news because they expect expanded USDC use. Circle, the issuer of USDC, actually filed to become a federally regulated trust bank. And even Ripple, they're launching their own stablecoin, RLUSD, and pursuing a US banking license. It really shows that, these moves reflect confidence that regulation brings clarity and unlocks business growth.
So it sounds like overall it's a net positive for the industry.
Well, largely, yeah. Not all reactions are positive, of course. Some, like Amundi, have warned that U.S. stablecoin dominance might threaten global financial balance. And Tether still faces criticism for its transparency, which could make Genius compliance a bit trickier for them. Also, algorithmic stablecoins are actually paused for 2 years under the Act due to those previous failures like Terra UST. So the Act really favors fiat-backed, transparent models.
It really does. And I think that's a good thing, to bring more stability. Jin, this has been incredibly insightful. It really seems like stablecoins are moving from being just crypto tools to becoming true cornerstones of modern financial infrastructure.
Absolutely, Jenny. It's a fascinating evolution to watch. And that's all the time we have for today on Jen and Jenny.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next time for more insights into the world of finance and crypto.